Alright guys, we got another one for you. This one's going to be an '09 Ford Focus. So I actually looked at this yesterday. Came in for the heater not working. So they said the blower motor was only working on high for the longest time, and then the other day I guess it shit the bed. Nothing works. Went out to start it, to bring it in, and put the key in, and I'm trying to crank it over. Doesn't even start, doesn't even attempt to start. He was well aware of the starting issue. He was just dealing with it. So he says if you crank really hard on the key, it'll finally start. But I'll kind of show you. So there, it doesn't want to start. If you actually push inward on the key, then you can get it to start. Whatever, I told him, I said it's only going to get worse. He was just going to live with it for a while and just kind of keep on doing what he was doing. And I kind of told him, you can only crank so much on that key before something gives. You know, that contact is wore enough where it's not making contact all the time, and it's going to be one of those times where it's not even going to start for you. So he's going to take care of it today. We're going to put an ignition switch in it, so I will show you that, and then I got to figure out what's going on with this blower motor. Again, I kind of suspect something going on with the resistor, because he said it only worked on high speed for the longest time, and then it just finally quit working altogether. So we'll check that out, and I'll show you that process and what we need to do to fix that. Alright, so I just wanted to show you how the ignition status works on this vehicle. I can actually check it with the scanner here, and by rotating the key we can actually get some data on how this is actually working here. Alright, so we got the scanner hooked up here. First things when diagnosing a no start like that, you want to look at codes, just to make sure you don't have any anti-theft issues. The anti-theft light was not on in this one. I checked for codes already. There's no codes as far as any kind of theft deterrent or anything. I did look at the key here, and you can tell that it's actually got a hole drilled through it. I probably wouldn't recommend drilling a hole through a transponder key, but in this case it has no effect on it. That seems to be working fine. So I'm going to get in here to the PCM and live data. Alright, so I believe it's under key position or something like that. Key position for start indicated. Let's see if we can position this in a way that you guys can see when I turn the ignition, and with that key position. So it should go to on as you turn it to the start position. So let's, you know, I'm turning to start. We're not getting any signal there. Let's push in the key, and you can see it went to on and the vehicle started. So that's another good indication. Again, nothing. Push the key in. We got our on signal and the vehicle started. So at this point we can pretty much verify the ignition switch is faulty. I'll get started on that, and we'll kind of go from there. So these are 5.5 millimeter screws. Get this cover off here. section there. So here's our ignition switch right here, and pretty simple to replace. You end up having these tabs. Let's see if I can point to one here. These tabs just push in, and then there's one on top too, and then you can just slide it off the end of the lock housing here. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. There's our connector. Get our light up here so I can see what I'm doing. Now up here, there's another tab you have to push in. So that one's released, and the bottom one's released. Now this kind of slides off. You kind of have to tip it out of there. We'll get our new switch here and then see how it works. So here's our switch. You can kind of see, if you look at it here, those tabs, this is what slides into that lock housing. There's the connector in view there. This is the part number for it. I believe they use this part number on some of the escapes, kind of in this around this year anyway. I've replaced them in the escapes for sure. A lot of times it's not just the start circuit that has issues. I've seen it where it's actually affected, like dash would just shut down, and some other things would kind of just weird things would lose power. So when these fail, they're not prone just to fail in like the start position like this one has failed. But so keep that in mind if you're ever diagnosing weird power supply issues, like the dash lights just going off, or like fan controls, or any of that stuff just kind of going in and out or not working. So we're gonna put this in and go from there. So we're ready for the new ignition switch here. And again, you kind of gotta tip it in around the corner there. And there she goes. She just snaps in place. Get our connector in here. All right, let's try the key here and see if she starts without having to press on it. All right, we got our switch put in there. Let's try our key and see if this thing starts. Let's say she is fixed here. Don't have to push in on the key, just turn it normal. All right, so that's gonna do it for this one. I am gonna make a video on the fan, diagnosing that, see what's going on there, so check that out. But for now, like and subscribe. Appreciate it.